Here are 10 final world-class beliefs you need to adopt. To make more money, solve bigger problems. Honest wealth is a byproduct of abundant and creative thinking. Focus is essential to large-scale success. Emotion motivates, logic steers. Perception is reality. Self-discovery is the best change agent. Experience is the best teacher. Beliefs dictate behavior. Behavior dictates results. And one final belief, which makes all of these so important: beliefs can be altered through programming. You really are in charge of your own reprogramming. Isn't that awesome? So you give up the blame game, realize the people who programmed you had the best intentions, and focus your mental energy on reprogramming your belief system for world-class success. I would also encourage everyone who has kids to start this process with them immediately. If you don't teach them world-class beliefs, who's going to do it? And keep in mind that less than 5% of the population would recognize a world-class belief if they heard one. The younger the child, the less fear-based thinking they've been exposed to. They believe anything is possible, and it's your job to reinforce this belief. If your kids are under 9 years of age, start by banning all middle-class language from your house. If necessary, impose fines on anyone who expresses middle-class beliefs of any kind. Post world-class beliefs on 3x5 index cards and stick them up all over the house. Inundate them with world-class ideas and they'll absorb them like a sponge. For kids 10 and over, I would start out by having a grown-up talk with them and tell them the truth. Explain to them that the majority of people they meet, including their teachers, coaches, scoutmasters, brownie leaders, etc., are going to have a middle-class mindset or below. Be sure to follow this by emphatically stating that this doesn't make them any less important or any less of a human being, because all of us, every single one of us, no matter what we believe, are equal. Give them a few examples of people who believed they were superior and the outcome of this poverty class belief. Once you have firmly planted the fact that we are all equal, let them know that they're surrounded by middle-class thinking and teach them how to identify it when they hear it. Teach them to be able to make the distinction between middle-class and world-class language just as easily as they can make the distinction between English and Spanish. Explain how most of us don't know we have middle-class beliefs or have ever even heard the phrase. Teach them how to take a middle-class belief and upgrade it to world-class. My last bit of coaching on upgrading your beliefs is to remember it's easy to be wrong. Double-check your beliefs before you adopt them. Keep the example of the civil rights struggle of the 1960s in the back of your mind. Remember how our society adopted and accepted things like having 2 drinking fountains in public buildings, one if you were black and one if you were white. It's unbelievable to us now that we could actually believe we should have drinking fountains based on the color of your skin, but as a society, we did. And that was only about 40 years ago. Imagine explaining to your kids, no honey, you're not good enough to drink from that water fountain. My point is that 250 million people allowed this to occur until some world-class thinkers like Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King came along and said, enough is enough. Many of them gave their lives to help the country upgrade its collective belief system. Once a person locks into a belief, they will do almost anything to defend it, no matter how limiting or how wrong it may be. This is why we've all been taught not to discuss sex, politics, or religion in mixed company. The very issues we should be discussing are off limits because middle-class thinkers are easily offended by anyone who opposes their beliefs. Beliefs are how people make sense of the world. A person's beliefs connect the dots to the pieces of the puzzle they don't understand. When you present a contrary belief, you scramble their dots, and as a result, the world no longer makes sense to them. This terrifies the average person, and they will attack you out of fear. Keep in mind that the middle-class thinker operates out of a fear and scarcity-based consciousness. This is the ugly truth of the middle-class belief system, but it's important to know so you realize what you're up against. Building world-class beliefs is an uphill battle because only 5% of the population will be able to relate. The good news is it's worth it. Thanks for joining us. I'm your mental toughness coach, Steve Siebold. Stay tough.